Good afternoon and welcome to Operation Olive Branch. We are a grassroots movement amplifying and addressing the needs of our friends in Palestine. And today you're going to get to meet one of those families, and it is Rami Nabil. I am Ryan, one of the OOB accomplices, and we're also going to meet one of our lovely friends here and accomplices, Cleo. I'm going to pass it off to you. We'll go around the room, and then we're going to get to know our lovely guest of honor, Rami. Hi,
All
Cleo.
right. Hi, everybody. My name is Cleo. I go by Martini Olive on social media, and I volunteer for the Operation Olive Branch project, which I also found on TikTok. That is where I met Rami and where our friendship started and developed, and where I was able to see his content and his amazing work and what has brought us here.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that everybody loves a humanitarian. Well, at least we love a humanitarian, right?
It is very difficult to see Rami's Instagram and to not love him. I will just that is my conclusion so far.
Same. And Hamza, thank you so much for joining us today. You are going to be our translator, and we appreciate that.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm still new at translating, so I hope I do a good job. Thank you
I'm
very much.
sure. I'm sure you will. Yes, thank you for joining us. And our lovely guest of honor here is Rami. And we had spoke behind the scenes, everybody who is in the audience and who joins later, that we want Rami to speak on his story to the extent that he feels comfortable. So if any moment, he has to drop because something gets dangerous, that might happen. Don't worry, we will continue his story. This is all about the safety, but also amplifying his campaign. So we will do our best to get through this today.
Okay, I'm going to translate this to Rami. رامي راين كانت عم بتقول إنه اليوم راح نحكي عن قصتك واحكي شو ما بدك، بس يعني بدنا نأكد لك إنه احكي على حسب ما أنت بتحس إنه بيكون كويس لإلك، ما بدنا نحطك بخطر. تاني إشي، إذا أنت حسيت بالوقت هذا إنه حياتك بخطر أو إشي لازم تمشي، مش مشكلة، بتقدر تسكر وتمشي ونحن حنكمل عنك
ان شاء الله. اوكي.
إن شاء الله. اوكي.
طب اوكي. انا اسمي رامي نبيل، طبعا من رفح. ناشط اجتماعي. بقدم مساعدات من اول الحرب مع النازحين لرفح. اشتغلت في رفح، اشتغلت في غزة، اشتغلت في كل الاماكن. طبعا انا يعني سلمي، ماليش في الحرب ولا إلي في الارهاب ولا شيء ولا في اي شيء. طبعا انا برفض القتل في شعبنا. انا من ضمن الشعب وشاب يعني. تم قصف بيتي. انا الان عايش انا واهلي وخمس اخوان وست بنات من خواتي. يعني عايشين على شط البحر. هم في مكان وانا في مكان.
رامي، ممكن دقيقة؟ ممكن لأنه عم بكتب أنت شو عم تحكي. كم أخ وكم أخت لو بتقدر تعيد لو
انا
سمحت؟
خمس اخوان وست بنات.
5 إخوان، أوكي، وست
وغير
بنات.
غير كل واحد من اخواني متجوز طبعا.
أوكي، ماشي الحال. تفضل أخ رامي.
طبعا يعني الافراد كلهم يمكن بيجوا يمكن من 45 ل 60 فرد، اللي هم الموجودين في الشارع بعد قصف
ماشي.
البيت، موجودين في الشارع.
ماشي الحال. أنا هلا حترجم. بدك يعني
انا
أترجم
كل
ولا
يوم
بدك تكمل؟ تفضل.
تمام. انا كل يوم كنت اطلع فيديو اقول يعني كنت اقول اليوم سعاده جديده. الحين انا مش قادر اقول سعاده جديده لانه انا محتاج السعاده هذه. يعني انا بقول لك بيتنا اللي اتدمر. انا كنت كل يعني حاط فيه كل حياتي وكل املي فيه. و يعني بدي اقول لك ايش هو، يعني انا مش قادر.
ماشي الحال. فهمت عليك يا أخ رامي. I'm just gonna go ahead and translate. Rami's having a difficult time, so I really hope he gets better. So this is Rami Nabil. He is volunteering, and he's been doing that for a while, handing out aid to people in different parts of Gaza. He is not affiliated with any sort of military movements in Gaza at all, so he's just purely a civilian. That's one thing that he wanted to highlight. The next thing is his house has been completely destroyed. He has 5 brothers and 6 sisters, and some of those siblings are married with kids. He told me there's a total of 45 to 60 of his family members currently all homeless, living at the beachside in Gaza. Every day, he said he used to try and advertise I don't know if advertise is a good word, but advertise the GoFundMe pages to try and help others. But now, recently, he's been having a really hard time, especially after his house has been targeted. Now he's the one that needs the funding. So that's where we are at this point.
So maybe we should first, before we kind of get to know Rami's story and how he became a humanitarian and, all his amazing efforts that he has put into the community, because he has put blood, sweat, and tears into his community, and even uplifting women, etc. So maybe we should just walk back to the most recent incident, what happened, if that's okay, if Rami feels comfortable, and how he is actually being targeted for this amazing work.
اوكي. رامي، راين كانت عم بتقول انه نحن بنشكرك كثير على التبرعات اللي كنت عم تعملها وكيف عم بتساعد الناس، وكانت عم بتحكي للناس كمان انه انت ساعدت ناس كثير، من بعضهم طبعا النساء في غزة، وساعدت ناس في القطاع نواحي كثير، وشكرا كثير على تساعداتك. هي قالت بدها ترجع شوي وتعرف عن قصتك وعن المشكلة اللي صارت معك بالضبط. وكمان يعني ما تحكي إشي أنت مو مرتاح تحكيه، فاحكي بس اللي أنت مرتاح عليه. فلو بتقدر بس تحكي لنا عن قصتك شوي، لو سمحت يا أخ رامي.
يعني بدي اقول انا عشان احكي باختصار، البيت
Yeah.
اتدمر. انا
أوكي.
بيت اتدمر كله. احنا كنا 5 اخوان وبيت اتدمر كله. ما مش عارف، حتى لو وقفت الحرب انا مش عارف وين اروح اصلا. يعني حتى لو وقفت الحرب انا مش عارف وين اروح. يعني لا في فلوس ولا في شيء واحد يعني يقدر يمشي اموره فيها. انا كل طموحي بجد بجد بجد، يعني انا كل طموحي الحين ان اطلع برا البلد. يعني انا اذا معبر فاتح بدي اعمل تنسيق واطلع برا البلد. انا خلص حياتي اتدمرت في غزه كلها، مش قادر اقعد في غزه بالمره. انا جد.
ماشي. I'm just writing this down. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, I asked him about what, because I'm not familiar with his story. So I just asked him, can you please let us know what happened? What, as you mentioned, Ryan, like what is the tragedy that we want to highlight? And he said, so just to summarize, he said, I'm gonna keep it brief. So just to summarize, he said, my house has been completely destroyed. There's nothing that he can go back to. So even if the war ends, there is no money. There's no economy. There's nothing that he can do. He said the best thing for him is to leave Gaza. He said he's just lost everything. So he just doesn't know what to do at this point, and he just wants to leave, and he thinks leaving would be a better option for him to be able to start over again.
And I want to highlight that this happened very recently. This was in the last 10 days. Rami had been operating out of his home, and it was very helpful for his work. But now he is in a more desperate and urgent need than even he was, 10 days ago. And it was still high at that time. The other thing I want to say is that even if peace was declared tomorrow, Rami himself would be still in danger based on the work that he does, and his family as well. And we have evidence. We've seen the records. So this is a very specifically, all of the campaigns that we are focused on are very urgent, and this one, in this specific way, is specifically very, very urgent.
Absolutely. I think that's imperative that we stress that point. that he has been targeted because of his amazing work. And as the videos I'm showing you, you can see him sitting here distributing funds, right? So this isn't just about helping get clean water or giving food. He's actually giving tangible money to people, so if they need to go get medicine or diapers or whatever it is that maybe he can't provide with the services, they can get elsewhere. And being targeted, and then it happened, right?
Correct.
They said this was going to happen, and then it happened. Oh boy, that's making my sorry, I need a second. That's terrifying. And that's exactly what happened to our dear friend Rami here. And you can
Correct.
see he's in the thick of it. He's out there in the heat, whatever the weather is, in the danger, because this is dangerous work. Even to have to get the supplies, and again, being such a personable person who puts all of this on video so everyone can watch for their own eyes to know that he's a real human being who cares about his community, and what he gets paid back is bombing on his house. And now the entirety, like his extended family, now even homeless. It's, oh boy, I'm so sorry.
Right. So what we have here is one example of a community member who has dedicated his life to supporting his community, and now, through no fault of his own, is in need of external, whole worldwide community support. It is time for us to do a tiny fraction of what Rami has spent, not just the last few months, not just the last 6 months, but his career and his life. It is time for us to put in a little bit of the support that we have available. It's our turn. It's our turn now.
And maybe what we should do quickly, like before we even learn more about all this amazing work that Rami's done, because I would love to hear about it, is we can just let people know the ways that they can help. So obviously, cash is always going to be queen, in my opinion. Cash is always going to be like top of the list. If you have it, if you can forego the coffee, if you can forego the treat, or if you just have it because you want to give, please, you can screenshot this. If you're unable to get to the link in the bio, the link in the description, the link is there. It's clickable in the description. If not, you can screenshot this for later. You can come back to it when you have an opportunity, and all you'll have to do is hold on that QR code, and it will open up directly to Rami's GoFundMe, and give a little contribution. $5 goes a long way when we have hundreds of people giving at one time. That's what, crowdfunding is all about, is we all are in it together at the same time. Giving those little $5 here and there adds up quickly. If you cannot give, don't feel disheartened. You can share this live stream with your friends. Ask them to watch and listen to what has happened to this amazing person, right? Share this. Go to his Instagram, go to his TikTok, watch his videos. Look at the smile on the, just wait till we show you. I think we have some videos of the circuses or whatever you want to call them, like amusement type fairs that they have put on for the children. So many amazing things, not just for the adults, but for the children as well, to keep them, their mind off of the bombs that are, raining down and the drones that are flying above them. All those ways can tangibly help.
Rami's work is not just life-saving, it is also life-affirming. And when we all go together to see his Instagram and to see his TikTok, you will understand what I mean. I could write a whole dissertation that we do not have time for about the specific work that Rami does and how it benefits, not just physically, but also mentally, his community. It would be so much easier if you guys just went and checked it out yourselves the way I did a few months ago.
Yeah, do the work.
Just a little.
Just a little work. Watch,
little.
just watch. We're playing it right now. You can watch it here. Look, we're making it easy for you. We're presenting it to you. Look at this amazing person, man. You don't have to do any of this.
My life has only improved by viewing Rami's work. However that is accessible to you. I highly recommend Instagram and TikTok, but my life has only improved.
Absolutely. So if maybe now what would be appropriate, if that's okay, is to ask Rami about some of his charity work, like what inspired him, what got him
or his
here.
career before.
Yeah, like I
Hamza.
want to. Yeah, I would love to. I want to know about him as a person if he wants to share.
Okay, I'll translate. Thank you so much.
That was a lot. Yeah.
أخ رامي بدهم يعرفوا عنك شوي إذا أنت ما عندك مانع طبعا. بدهم يعرفوا عن حياتك قبل الحرب، يعني إيش كان شغلك، إيش كنت عم تعمل، وكمان يعني بدهم يعرفوا ليش عم تعمل أنت هي الشغل التطوعي. فبدهم يعرفوا عنك من زمان، يعني من قبل الحرب شو كنت تعمل، شو كان شغلك. وبعدين بدهم يعرفوا ليش هلا صرت عم تعمل اشياء تطوعيه. تفضل.
تمام. انا اصلا اعلامي رياضي، يعني داخل الملعب، بس انا اعلامي رياضي. فكنت عايش
لا يا اخ رامي، لا تاخذني. رياضي يعني بالرياضه، يعني بتلعب كوره واشياء زي هيك؟
لا، انا اعلامي رياضي، مصور رياضي.
مصور رياضي يعني بتاخذ صور للناس اللي بيلعبوا؟
ايوه، جوا الملعب.
اوكي طيب تفضل.
بصور التمرين، بصور هذا. انا اعلامي نادي خدمات رفح، اكبر نادي في فلسطين اللي حاصل على بطولات ومثل فلسطين برا. انا اعلامي النادي تاع خدمات رفح. طبعا انا كان حلمي اني انا اخذ افضل صوره، اطلع احضر مونديال. يعني هيك كان حلمي. فانا لما دخلت العمل التطوعي تاع المبادرات واساعد الناس، لان انا دخلت جمعيه لمرضى السرطان. فانا لما دخلت جمعيه لمرضى السرطان، حبيت من هنا ان انا برضو غير شغلي تاع الرياضه ان انا اساعد الناس. فانا من هنا ساعدت الناس. اجت الحرب. فشفت يعني في كثير ناس طالبوا مساعده في الحرب. فانا خشيت في الموضوع هذا الحمد لله، وتمكنت ان انا اعمل متبرعين عندي، وثقه الناس فيي كمان. وانا معروف يعني في رفح، مدينه رفح معروف اعلامي رياضي، واعلامي اكبر نادي في فلسطين. فعشان هيك من هنا انا انطلقت في الموضوع هذا، ان انا عملت اسمي وعملت كل شيء، وانطلقت من هنا ان انا الحمد لله الكل بيعرفني وبعرف عيلتي مين انا وابن مين. والسمعه الطيبه هي الحمد لله، السمعه الطيبه هي اللي شهرتنا اكثر واكثر. فالحمد لله قدرت اساعد انا كثير. انا كل يوم بعمل مبادرات، ولحتى الان بقصف بيتي. يعني مجرد
يا اخ رامي، ما يمكن الانترنت قطع. maybe give it a second. okay. alright. يا اخ رامي، انا هلا حترجم لهم وان شاء الله يرجع الانترنت. so I just told him I'm gonna translate and hopefully the internet connection will come back. So Rami used to be a stadium photographer. It took me a while to kind of understand that, but he basically worked for the أيوة يا أخ رامي.
Oh,
He's trying.
one of the many barriers Rami has to communicating for himself and advocating for his own family. Part of the reason we are here is not just the language barrier, but the internet connection barrier.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll return, but
Yes.
no fear. If not, we have videos. Cleo. Oh, wait, he's just popped back in. Welcome back.
I just want to talk to my friend.
فصل النت.
مو مشكلة يا أخ رامي، عرفنا، مو مشكلة أبدا. أنا
هلا أنا بقول لك يا أخوي، أنا الشهرة تاعتي بدت من أنا اشتغلت أكبر إعلامي
That's why we're
رياضي
here.
في نادي خدمات رفح. طبعا نادي خدمات رفح معروف، يعني أكبر نادي في فلسطين، وقدرت أشتغل مع مرضى السرطان عندنا في رفح. فالحمد لله من هنا
though
بدت
he is
الشهرة
very far
تاعتي.
away, he is nestled right into our hearts. So
That's right.
oh, Rami.
أيوة يا أخ رامي، ايوه هلا حترجم لهم، ما يهمك، هلا حترجم لهم من عيني. تفضل. في شيء تاني بدك تقوله يا اخ رامي، ولا بتحب اترجم هلا؟
بدي سلامتك، بدي بس يعني حساب الجو في مي بدنا ننشره اكثر ممكن عشان برضه يجي عليه
ان شاء الله.
التبرعات.
الله يخليك. ان شاء الله ان شاء الله. هلا بقولهم انا. So yeah, let me just I've written the things down in bullet points. Let me just translate some of the things. So he was a photographer working for the Rafah soccer team, the largest soccer team in Palestine. He was part of the press, so he would take photos of the players, of the stadium, of the games. His dream was to be able to travel with the team, go internationally, and do his work, just taking photography. And during his time as a photographer, he started doing some work. This was all before the war. He started doing some work with cancer patients, and he volunteered with cancer patients. And so that kind of built a name for himself in the community. People started to know him. People started to trust him. People know his family. So so he was a very well trusted person. And so after the war has started, he thought to himself, okay, well, there's a lot of people that need help. I have the know-how, so I'm gonna continue on with my aid work, and I'm gonna expand it. And that's what he did. He started helping people a lot, to the point where, as we know, they targeted his house. And so, yeah, he was telling me, his work before working with cancer patients really helped him, because people know him, people know his family and stuff like that. So people trusted him, and they still do trust him to give support. And so
Yeah.
I
Even
asked Ram.
recently, oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to interrupt, but I don't want
No,
to
go
forget
ahead.
this. Even recently, he was trusted to be the officiant for a wedding. And that
Wow.
video is going to make me tear up a little bit just thinking about. So I highly recommend going and seeing it on his social media. But please continue.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I think that's it. And then I asked them, is there anything something else that you want to say? He just said, I just want you to be happy. He wants me to be happy. And
I know.
and then he said, all I want is for my GoFundMe page to just kind of help me out. And so hopefully that we can get him something.
And
That's it.
earlier, right before the live, we were discussing what he was comfortable speaking about. Because as we explained earlier, he is in grave danger. And he said that, and I mean, you can see by how publicly he shows his work on social media that it is not that it's hard to speak about, but when you go and see, you'll see that he is living out loud, and he is standing up and showing up for his community every single day, especially when it's hard. Yeah.
Right. Because this, again, I just feel it's important to reiterate that this is dangerous work in this condition, in these circumstances. They shouldn't be dangerous doing humanitarian work. You should be safe and you should be protected. But as we've seen in the news, or at least if you haven't seen, we can tell you that aid workers, for instance, from the World Food Kitchen, I believe is the name, 6 or 7 aid workers were targeted in their vehicles that were marked as aid workers, right? So this is a
Yes.
pattern that we've seen before. When they say they're coming after somebody, we've seen, as in Rami's case, it happens. But he still continued to put himself out there, and now he has nothing. They've taken everything from him.
And even speaking about it here is a risk that he has calculated and we have chosen. So we don't have time. No campaign has time, but we certainly do not have time to every day show where he is, what he's doing, what it means to people. He has shown us this. We have that already. So our job now to support this family is to get them to safety and we have the opportunity to bring them together. And that is a very rare opportunity. When we started Rami's campaign, it was one person, emergency evacuation. And now that we've built a community, we trust that we love Rami and we want what is best for him and his family. And we now have the opportunity through this third-party fundraising campaign to make that happen together. We don't have to look on while what we know will happen happens. We actually have some agency finally after months. And I will not ignore that opportunity. And I will do everything I can to publicize it widely to others just like me who need the access to support.
I love that. And that's what we're asking, right? We're asking everyday people who've basically let their tax dollar be put towards war machines that are being tested on our friends in Gaza right now and Palestine. So the least that we can do is get to know these people, get to know Rami, and care. Just simply care what they're going through. Have empathy. I might not have a penny to my name, but what I do have is compassion and time.
And internet connection.
And
like,
internet
what do you
connection.
have? What is the one thing you have that this media specialist, humanitarian hero does not have? And it is English and it is internet connection. So we found Hamza and we found Ryan. And we are going to talk about it because we can and we know that it can help. And it has already helped. Rami has made his initial crossing goal thanks to the generosity of people on social media almost exclusively. So we know and we have hope and we trust in our community that we can make this happen. It just is going to take all of us doing what we are able. And it truly is such... There is nothing more important to me than Rami's safety right now. And I know I have a whole life, there's other things going on, but like, since I have an avenue, since I have access to assist, it's what I'm going to do. And I know other people will benefit from participating in this project because I have. It is not just hard. It has been the honor of my life.
Rewarding.
Yeah.
It is
It
rewarding.
benefits me. I promise it benefits
يا حمزه
me.
ايش
Like,
بيقولوا يا
it doesn't
حمزه؟
have to. It would be worth doing otherwise, but I promise
Okay,
my
okay.
life has improved. Only just for knowing Rami.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but Rami is just asking me what are they saying. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just give him like a few
Please,
things there.
Tell him how great we think he is.
He already knows.
يا أخ رامي، أنت سألتني إيش عم بيقولوا؟
طبعا.
هم بس عم بيحكوا عنك وعم بيحكوا عن حركة عن شغلك المتطوع اللي عم تعمله للناس، وعم بيقولوا للناس لو سمحتوا ساعدوا رامي لأنه رامي ساعد ناس كتير من الحكي هذا، وعم بيحاولوا يتواصلوا مع الناس اللي في أمريكا وفي العالم كله طبعا، إنه يقولوا لهم رامي عمل هيك وسوى هيك وأرجوكم ساعدوا لأنه ساعد ناس كتير.
اوكي شكرا.
بدك يعني اترجم لك اي شيء يعني؟
لا انا بشكرها قاده حمله غصن الزيتون، بشكرها كثير، وبشكر طبعا مارتيني تعبت معي كثير. انا بشكرها كثير ولسه
I'm glad he can hear us.
ثانك يو مارتيني، ثانك يو.
At least.
Afwan.
Yeah, he was just saying thank you all so much. I explained to him what was happening. He's very thankful, and he said thank you to the Operation Olive Branch for helping him. He's very grateful for that, and he's thanking all of you, everyone in this chat as well. So thank you.
No need to thank me. I should be thanking him.
Truly. And we want to leave space for that because it's one of the few gifts that we can receive right now in this process is the gratitude of the people participating. True. They are being very brave, even asking. And so we have to be brave and accept some of that. Like, we have to accept some of it. It's only fair. Yes, that being said, again, it benefits me greatly as well. It is not just... it is not only something that is sad and difficult. There was something else I was going to say. Rami, what was it? Oh well. He's already said it all on his pages. So I'm glad that he's available a little, but I was worried that yet again, it would be on me to represent a person who is professionally trained in media communications. Why on earth should it just be me? Right? Like, so my ask specifically for people still here is to go see his work. That is my only ask. You don't have to learn how a GoFundMe works. You just gotta go meet Rami. For me, that's all I'm asking for today.
Right, because the work it speaks for itself. I mean,
It transcends language barriers.
This is only some of it, y'all. And he's trying to do all kinds of uploads and media while he's under attack, while he doesn't have internet connection, while he doesn't speak English. He's doing amazing. He did great, thankfully, I believe, thanks to Cleo's hard work. But his first campaign goal he reached, and would have been happy until what happened 10 days ago. And he did recently, actually, I could share that just quickly, just to show everybody. So his goal was 10K. He raised it to 38 because now the entirety of his family is left with nothing. But I think this is a piece of cake. I feel like this is still a very small goal that's easily attainable. And
yes, it's just the barriers.
We could close that out. In a week we could close that out. If everybody, there's 78 people watching right now. If 78
really?
people,
hi guys.
If 78 people were able to give $5, or if 78 people shared with 5 of their friends, and 1%, 10% of those friends were able to give $5-10, I'm telling you, these gaps close very quickly. And because
I will also
go ahead, please.
Say, when I look at campaigns, I look at the number of individual contributions, and Rami's number of individual contributions is perilously low compared to the network that we have set up. So I don't always look at the amount or how much people donate. I look at the number of contributors, and we can get that number up. Even if it's all just the minimum donation, I know that there are millions of people who would want to support in this way. They just need the access.
Yeah, they just need to know who Rami is. They don't know that he's out there. They don't realize how tirelessly he's working. I believe Hamza told us that Rami said that he started at 7 a.m. this morning, I believe, passing out donations and things like that.
Yeah.
So this is like every day.
Holding cash that would rescue his family and giving it to people who need it somehow even more.
Thank you. Can you reiterate that? Can you say that again, please? Because I think that is so important.
Holding a stack of cash that he did the work to organize to get access to in the first place, which is no easy feat. He is connected to other organizations in Belgium that I don't even know the names of because I don't speak whatever they speak over there. And he is working his connections with no internet to get access to this life-saving aid. He holds it in his hand and then risks his life to distribute it and shows us, which is another risk. And he's been doing that for months and months and months, even before. Like, we just need to, what I meant by the individual contributions also is that when people meet him, they throw hundreds of dollars into this campaign specifically once they know him. So when you have nothing to contribute, but you share, you get it to people who can. And I have watched that happen in real time. It just takes time when people aren't as engaged as we could be.
Right. But here, we just see him passing out envelopes and envelopes and envelopes. But he's an honest, good-hearted person who solely
Even
wants
those
to see his
people,
community
when
thrive.
in this situation, holding a stack of cash, even in that situation, the best of people may make a different choice. And I might even immediately forgive them for that choice, but he has not, and he will not. It would not even occur to him to make that choice. So
Right.
it would occur to me.
You know, you think about it. You hold a wad of cash, you think about it. But look, in the
But
circumstances,
he's connected to his community, right? Like his family
that's what it is.
Those families. Yeah.
100%. That is exactly what it is. So at this point, we are a little bit over halfway through. So I would be remiss if I didn't make sure that we ask Rami if there's anything that he would, like to tell us about his experiences or just about the conditions, how difficult it is right now just to get the basic necessities. Whichever it is, I would love to make sure that he has the time to tell that.
So Hamza, could you please ask Rami, is there anything that he feels we have not, that he would like to add before we get distracted and just talk about how much we love him some more?
Exactly.
Absolutely. So just to ask you one more time, Ryan, experiences. So you want to know his experiences before and after the war, like something like that, or are you?
Yeah, if he would like to, just like normal. These are normal. What I want to drive home to people is that these are everyday people, just like you and I, live normal lives.
Yeah.
And here they are put in extreme situations, and how that turn of events has still turned him. It's hardened his metal. He's even become a more amazing person through all of this.
I gotcha. I'm gonna try and translate. اوكي يا اخ رامي انت معنا؟
نعم معك.
الله يسلمك. نحن هلا بدهم يعرفوا عن خبرتك وخبره حركاتك عن شغلك التطوعي اللي كنت عم تعمله بفلسطين. ممكن يكون قبل الحرب او بعد الحرب. بدهم يعرفوا خبرتك وبدهم اياك تحكي شوي للناس اللي حيشوفوا الفيديو هذا وتقول لهم يعني شو خبرتك، شو اللي خلاك تعمل هاي الحركات التطوعيه، وشو حلمك انت بالمستقبل لو بتقدر بس تحكي شوي عن حالك.
تمام.
الله يخليك.
انا كيف شغلي كان مع مرضى السرطان قبل الحرب، موضوع إغاثي، موضوع يعني علاجات زي هيك. بس لما دخل الحرب وشفت شعبي محتاجنا أكتر، محتاج في موضوع الإغاثة، موضوع الأكل، موضوع الطعام، موضوع العلاج، موضوع كل إشي بيتطلب شعبي أنا وقفت فيه. يعني معظم عندنا في رفح كان 1,800,000 نازح، 1,800,000 نازح من كل قطاع غزة
In the
موجودين في رفح.
future, when I talk about
فبص
Rami and people tell me, I didn't know about Operation Olive Branch, I didn't know this was possible, it is going to be so painful
مالك مارتيني.
that my hope is that
ايش مال
we
مارتيني
can
يا
help
حمزة؟
amplify
ايش
his
بتقول
voice
مارتيني
when
حمزة؟
he is not able. Like
لا
this situation.
لا بس كانت عم تحكي عنك وعن الغص عن عن دقيقة بس خليني أشوف الترجمة. كانت عم تحكي عنك وعن لا حول الله، إيش اسمه الغصن؟
الفطور الجماعي اللي كنت أعمله مثلا؟
لا مو الفطور الجماعي، الغصن هيك اسمه بالعربي.
غصن الزيتون. غصن
الزيتون كانت عم تحكي عنك.
أنا نمر 20. أنا نمر 20 في غصن الزيتون.
He's number 20 in OOB. Yeah,
yes.
in Olive Branch.
And in my bio, you can Google Martini Olive and find me on TikTok and Instagram, and you can get right to him. If you trust us enough to not reference the spreadsheet, you don't have to, but it is there as a reference of a family that has gone through a 4-step verification process. You don't have to just believe us. We have that as a resource that is available widely.
Okay.
موقف ايش؟
Hamza, you are doing amazing. I am not
So-
easy to translate. I will not stop talking. I don't know how.
You're good. You're good. I'm just going to
doing
translate to
great.
Rami very quickly. Sorry. So verification, I didn't know what that meant in Arabic, so I just had to look that up. يا أخ رامي، مارتيني كانت بس عم بتقول للناس إنه نحن لما يجوا العوائل عنا بالغصن، نحن بنحقق مع العوائل، بنتأكد إنه عن جد هم لازمهم مصاري، عم بتأكد للناس إنه رامي وعائلته أكيد بدهم يعني المساعدات، ويعني تعالوا شوفوا بعينكم بالضبط شو اللي عم بيصير عشان تتأكدوا من الموضوع هذا. عرفت كيف؟ لأنه في مرات يعني للأسف الشديد في ناس ما بيحكوا الصدق كتير، فهي بس عم بتقول للناس إنه لا تخافوا، نحن عنا بنحقق مع الناس وبنحقق بوضعهم الحقيقي، وعشان نتأكد بالضبط إنه هم المصاري بتوصل للناس اللي بيستحقوها أكثر شيء. I think that got through.
معلش، ما انت
And
عارف
anyone can feel
مش عارفه.
confident platforming, sharing, and making content for any campaign reflected on the Operation Olive Branch spreadsheet. I do not have any special skills. In fact, I have many deficits when it comes to internet and social media communication. However,
فانا
I was
حمزه
still very helpful with the skills that I have. You do not have to wait to be assigned a family. You can go to the spreadsheet and find somebody like Rami that you connect with.
تفضل يا أخ رامي، تفضل.
تمام. فانا بقول لك يا حمزه، انا
It could be
اشتغلت مع
Rami. You could start with Rami.
ماشي
The way I
مارتيني، ماشي.
started was by going to a family that I trusted, like Rami's page, and duetting his content. It is a little difficult to learn how to edit, but that's the best way to start, and it keeps their voice heard. You don't have to speak for anybody. You don't have to make a whole new video. Go find somebody and use your platform to uplift their voice. That is a great way to start.
فيش له هاند بريك.
Exactly. I think we put that
حمزه
distinctly and
أيوة.
understandably.
أيوة أخ رامي، تفضل.
حمزه، انا شخص مبادر والحمد لله، ساعدت كثير، ساعدت يمكن ما
It
يقارب
is
من
fair
مليون
when
ل
people
800
don't
ألف نازح عندنا
understand the
في رفح.
process. Or
ما
it's
ضلش
fair
شيء.
if people do not understand the process. But if you have questions and you're still here,
مارتيني
come find
مشكلة
me and ask me about it. I would love to talk all day in English about what I do in the project and what you may be able to offer as well.
Perfect. Sorry, I think Rami was trying to say something. تفضل رامي، تفضل.
فانا بقول لك، فانا من يوم قصه الحرب من 6 شهور او من 7 شهور لحتى الان، وانا وقفت مع 1,800,000 نازح. عملت بطاطين، عملت بمبز، عملت اكل، عملت شيء ضاني. في مخيمات ما كانتش تعرف بعض، انا عرفتهم بعض. عملت اكل جماعي، عملت اكل لمرضى السرطان صحي جدا، عملت طرود غذائيه صحيه جدا، عملت شيء للنساء، كسوه عملت للنساء. هذا طبعا اللي مارتيني قاعد بتعرضه، هذا كله شغلي. الاكل، كسوه الاطفال من البرد، ماء، طعام. عملت ما ضلش شيء ما عملتوش ل 800. الماء طبعا كل يوم عندي توزيع ماء كل يوم. فانا بطمح يا حمزه، وانا يعني ما ضلش بالعمر زي ما بيقولوا. نفسي اطلع برا البلد واستقر واعمل لي مشروع برا البلد. اوروبا، انا حلمي في اوروبا، صدقني. انا نفسي اعيش في اوروبا. انا وانا صغير نفسي اعيش في اوروبا، لحتى الان نفسي اعيش في اوروبا، اعمل مشروع اعيش في اوروبا. بس هي كل حلمي ان انا اعيش في اوروبا واشوف
وين
شعبي طبعا
بأوروبا
مبسوط.
يا أخ رامي؟ وين بأوروبا بدك تعيش؟
اي دوله في اوروبا، لان اوروبا هي اللي بتحترم الدنيا، بتحترم كل شيء. انا هيك حلمي اوروبا، بس نعمل مشروع وضلنا في اوروبا.
إن شاء الله. خلاص، أكيد أنا هلأ بترجم لك. I'm just gonna go ahead and translate the main points of what Rami said. Yeah, so just to reiterate, so before the war, he was working with cancer patients as a volunteer. This wasn't his job. He had a full-time job, and then he started volunteering for cancer patients. But then all of that changed after the war. After the war, he evacuated with 1.8 million people who had to flee their homes. And then he started helping with food, communal meals, especially for cancer patients. So he said a lot of these communities in different parts of the strip did not know each other. So that's why he held communal meals, so people would get to know each other and would help each other out. So that sounds amazing. And he did some of these meals for cancer patients and sick patients as well. He gave them healthy food, which is something very necessary, as we all know. He also did meals for women. He wanted to empower women, so he held meals specifically for women. And he said right now, on a daily basis, he does a lot of work for water delivery. As we know, in the Gaza Strip, water is very scarce. So he's doing a lot of the work there in making sure that these families get the water that they need. And finally, he ended with the dream that he wants, and I really hope we can make this true. He wants to move to Europe. He said, and I asked him, where in Europe do you want to go? He's like, I don't care, anywhere in Europe. And he said the reason why he wants to go to Europe is because they respect human life, and he really appreciates that in European culture, and that's where he wants to go. Ever since he was a child, he's dreamt of living in Europe, anywhere in Europe, and he just wants to start a business there, and he just wants to live a peaceful, happy life in Europe.
And
let's
I
do
think
it.
probably, yeah, that would be amazing. But I think
Let's
we should
go.
probably highlight that nobody wanted to leave until they had to leave.
Yeah.
حمزة هذا الفيديو الموجود وانا بقدم
Yes, when we were. Oh, sorry, if he's talking, I can't hear him.
عشان يشتروا العلاج.
ممكن تعيد مرة ثانية يا أخ رامي؟
هذا الفيديو الموجود قدمنا لمرضى السرطان عشان يشتروا العلاج.
Okay, he's just saying this video that you're now playing, this is him handing out money to cancer patients so they can buy medication. He just wanted to highlight that.
مرضى كانسر.
Yeah, مرضى cancer patients. Yes, that's the video that's playing right now to our right. Yeah.
Right. Because people aren't just going without food and water. There are other basic necessities that we might not think about that they now have to go without and might need actual cash in hand in order to be able to, find that item, whatever that might be.
Yeah. تفضل يا أخ رامي، عندك إشي بدك تقوله؟
He might be frozen.
His internet might not be working anymore. Yeah, his thing is frozen. Okay, yeah, we can maybe move on.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, don't be
never
sorry.
Move on.
No,
I'll never move on.
Another reminder that you can screenshot this live. This QR code right here will take you to his GoFundMe, or it will be in the description. It is in the description for later. Also are his links to his Instagram. Oh, there he went. Sorry, Rami. Hopefully he'll come. Oh, he's right back. He's right back. Still fighting, Rami. His Instagram link, his TikTok link. Of course, comments of support are super appreciated. Even if you can't give $5, hey, Rami, are you okay today? Did you guys eat today? Were you able to sleep safely? Like, talk to them, because they're us. And this could have been us and could possibly be us if we don't get this humanitarian crisis under control. This is a litmus test for the rest of the world. What are we willing to watch happen to people before we step up and say, hey, this is a catastrophe?
And can we be brave enough to be honest with ourselves and our community and loved ones about what is happening? Can we be honest with ourselves?
Right.
And step one is to go see what's happening. And you can do that by going to Rami's social media accounts or finding me and some of the videos I've posted for him, and then go to his account from there. Like, please go see his work. His name is in Arabic, written in Arabic, which is another barrier.
Yeah, it is.
if anyone has any questions, come find me, and I will speak a lot of English and give you way too many instructions.
She'll give you all the info you need. Trust me, you guys. Trust me. No, but see, this is the beauty. This is the beauty of us being able to come together and actually get to know people like Rami, right? Because again, from human to human, if this were me in that place, I would hope to goodness that somebody would care enough to reach out across the world and say, hey, at the very least, I hear you. You're not alone.
Yes. And
Because that
connecting
means
in this way will show you some of the veils that have been covered in our media, in our understanding of the conflict. When you see, you can connect. When you use social media like TikTok to see a face, you know, and to see what, like, to really connect, it's been very powerful and it has been very effective.
yes, we can do it on social media. It's amazing. The things
Together.
we can accomplish. Yeah, the things that we can accomplish together are so much easier than on our own. Together,
It's
great minds.
embarrassing. It's been very easy for me, like, because I have support. Like, if I was doing this by myself, we'd be at 2K and I'd be in fights with all my family. But since we have an external volunteer structure of people doing what they can, it has been easy. It's embarrassing how easy it's been when you have support.
It really has been, when the days are rough, when you hear news of Rami's house being destroyed, right? That just freaking breaks your heart because I couldn't imagine. It's not happened to me. I try to have some, compassion there, but gosh, that's a bit for anybody to take. But imagine you're that person and they need somebody to lean on, and we're that community for them. And I'm happy to be that. I'm glad to be that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be able to share their story.
And surely it is not
show
enough,
in the dark.
not even close to what is needed. But it is a joy, and it is radical to even to just be honest with yourself and with your community with what is happening, and to be brave enough to connect and to feel these huge feelings when it is very easy to ignore.
Oh God, Cleo, I think that's what we're tapping into here. This was my fear when all this started was, oh my God, I have to actually put my walls down. All the walls that I've built up, from trauma, life experience, whatever. I've got to kind of like knock these down right now because I have to grow as a human being. It's time to grow as a human being, step outside yourself and do something for the good of humanity. And that's not me like saying, look how great I am. It's
No,
just when
it's kind of the opposite.
I'm addressing the fear that I faced that I had to step into. I'm not saying this is like easy peasy lemon squeezy, but what I'm saying is it's worth it. And y'all and Rami, make it worth it. Learning the culture, make it worth it.
Yes, and it's not that the problem that makes you sad goes away when you don't think about it. And in fact, it can be quite liberating to take some action steps that are accessible to you rather than just be sad and ignoring something that you don't like.
Turning a blind eye, right? Which is what we've probably been trained to do.
Even our therapist will tell us to do that. Like it's normalized to, like,
take a day off. Just if this is too hard for you, you know what? You should just step back and go get a candle, have a spa day. Like, okay, that sounds great in theory when you do that every once in a while because you have been putting the pedal to the metal. But when you've done
in your
no
practice,
action,
yes,
when you've not
in
done
your
any
practice of
practice.
being honest about the world you live in your
Mhm.
practice, and we'll get better at it. We'll take breaks. We'll do, but it is not to my benefit to ignore this like I thought it might be. And I have learned that it is
No.
the opposite, and I would love to share that knowledge with people like me because we're very powerful, and they told us we weren't. And I'm a little embarrassed to have noticed that that was incorrect. So
100%. I was taught that as well. I was taught that my voice doesn't matter. In fact, I was taught that I should remain silent about political, humanitarian issues because it was actually going against God. So in my opinion, it seems as though we are trained to remain silent so that way those who are in power, the imperialist government who have the control, can continue to weaponize religion, politics, economics,
Our
etc.
fear,
against
our
it.
reactions, our need to protect ourselves, our fear for our families. Sure.
Exactly. That's exactly what they have done. I listened for 40 something years, no longer. And is it easy? No. Nobody wants to look in the mirror and go, girl, what have you been doing all this time? But I'm here now, right? I'm here now. This is in the present. It is happening. We are watching it live streamed. We're talking to these amazing Palestinians who are showcasing their pain for the world. And I cannot imagine how unbearable that is to have to do when, I'm a prideful person myself. I don't tell a lot about my personal issues, etc., because I don't like to. And here they have to bear it to the world. And it's so unfair that
Yes.
this is what they have to do to have people show some kind of empathy and compassion for what they're experiencing.
Yeah, so the spreadsheet ideally is a resource for people to not have to do that anymore, right? You shouldn't have to post every
Ding, ding,
day
ding.
when you've already been verified by some people who have been doing the work. So I hope that helps mitigate some of the extreme dystopian, gratuitous publicizing of trauma that no person should ever have to do to be heard.
No.
And also using our voices, right? Not making Rami do it all himself, right? We're here. We understand the privilege that we hold, and we're going to use it.
Right. We are just using our platforms to help elevate his voice. Yes, I do talk about him. Yes, you do talk about him. But at every opportunity, we give it to him to platform, as we attempted today. But you again see what they're working up against. This blockade is not just on food and medicine. This is also on internet. It's on travel. It's apartheid. It's everything. Welcome back, Rami.
هلو مرحبا
مرحبا مرحبا.
مراحب شوي شوي عربي شوي انجليزي
شوي شوي.
And
أنا
that's his home.
Yes. So please, everybody, the image in Rami's photo right now, that is his home. Okay. You are looking at what was a beautiful place that he must have worked extremely hard for I don't know how long. And this is what remains. And now the entirety of his family is on a beach in a tent. This is the reality, folks. This is the reality.
And it's even seeing it very difficult to comprehend. When it happened, Rami and I were talking and he kept repeating himself because
Shocked.
it's so unbelievable, even standing there, even taking that picture, even talking to me about it. It's unfathomable.
But it's reality. And we need to be
honest.
We need to be honest and cognizant of what would be expected. What we would hope for other people to do if we were wearing those shoes. And that's what
Those
I'm
sandals.
trying to do. Those sandals. Who's carrying who on this beach? Okay. All right. That's a dumb joke.
It's hard not to draw parallels. I'm really trying not to, between his work and another simple carpenter a couple thousand years ago. But I won't do it because his work stands alone as it is, and we don't need to draw that comparison. I just think about it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if I've talked about those situations before.
Like, he's right there. You can see him. Like, please draw these connections between what you value and your passions and what you worship and what is real life. I'm all sweaty. I do get a little worked up. I do, but I promise it it is better than how I was living a few months ago.
So we're at an hour. So what I'd like to do is start wrapping up. Anything that Rami would like to leave us with, I'd love that. But before we do that, I want to encourage people, if you are able to contribute to Rami's campaign, please do that. All amounts count, even if it's the $5. Don't tip. I tell everybody all the time, you do not need to tip.
Yeah, Maddie gets a cut. It's all right.
We don't care about GoFundMe's pockets. We truly don't. We hate that we have to use the empire's mechanisms, right?
Yes.
We don't love this. We don't love this for us.
Yes, and we're circumventing barriers they put in place for Palestinian people specifically. They're like, oh, we can't help you. And we're like, yes, you can. Like, yes, you can. Just because it is not a country supported by GoFundMe doesn't mean that there aren't other countries where you can have a beneficiary to do this. You know, it is not ideal, but it is working.
Right. None of this is not the solution. None of us here have ever claimed that this is a solution to the problem. The solution to the problem is to stop sending our tax money to Israel, a government, a nationalist government who is intentionally stealing the land of Palestinians and occupying illegally according to international law, right? But in the interim, until we can get that to stop, this is a way that we can directly have tangible aid to our friends in Palestine. And we also have tabs for mutual aid. This isn't only evacuations. We support those who want to rebuild. If you are able to check out the spreadsheet at the very bottom, we have the Perinatal Project. We have medical disabled. Here is our mutual aid. We work with 5 different mutual aid groups specifically. So far. Who knows where that will go with your support? So we have delivered aid baskets, diapers, things for sanitary pads, formula, and water, because you can't have formula without the water, right? If you don't have clean water, you're going to get your baby sick. But you need to feed your baby. So like the families are in this horrible position where they've got to like feed their babies not clean water, and they're getting ill. Gaza heroes who are like doctors who are working on the ground. There's so many ways that we can support our friends. There's a rebuild tab, because not everybody wants to leave. Some people want to stay. Whatever they want, we're trying to meet our friends there. That is what we want to do. Give them the platform so they can speak.
And last I checked, on the goal reach tab, we have 80 lines of campaigns that have met their at least preliminary goals. Is it 80? I know it's at least 70. Oh my God. Sometimes at the end of the day, I just go look at it.
Yep. So at this moment, what that means is we've had 80 families reach their campaign goal. Now there are some, again, in the continued support, which is right before it, who've met like their first goal, but increased once, because they want to rebuild, they need money to travel. Like a lot of this was just evacuation, right? It's the continued support, which is why it's labeled that. So we have proof that this does work. We have video evidence of people evacuating, reuniting. And again, we know that this is not the problem solver, the be all end all, but it's something that we can do now while our friends and family are being put through the worst genocide that I've seen. Well, and we know that Congo and Sudan, they're genocides. They're terrible. They're all just terrible. Yes. We don't have to compare. They're just terrible.
And they are connected also. So when you put in $5, it is more of a voice that is listened to by the people who don't listen to us. Your $5 vote is more of a vote than your uncommitted vote in the primaries that great. Okay. But what they're listening to is where we're putting our money. So it is also a statement just to share videos, just to talk about us. It's to say this is wrong and this is the only thing I can see right now that I can help with. Please, let's make changes. Nobody, like, it is also part of our voice to even participate. And I think it connects to the other, even the ones at home, right? The local ones right next door to me that I'm not as focused on. It to me, it is connected also to their liberation.
And that is something we will, I think our liberation
all of our
is
liberation, all
right.
of us, all of us.
Their liberation is our liberation, and ours hinges on theirs as well. And people don't know it. We see it. We realize it. We've looked it in the eye. We've looked the evil in the eye. We know what it is. And it's just a matter of when
And it's
everybody
us.
else kind of
It's
wakes up.
also us. Like, we're
Oh
in
yeah.
the
It's a
middle of it.
mirror.
Okay.
It's a
Anyway.
mirror reflecting back at us. This is,
Yeah.
hey, these are all deep conversations that I would absolutely love to have here on, you know, a podcast format. If anybody is ever interested, you let me know. We can have them here. But as far as today goes with Rami, I don't believe he'll be joining us. So I think we'll probably close for today. But please contribute.
And he's always with us, even when he is not connected.
Yes, absolutely. He is an amazing person who needs our support, and I just hope that y'all can go follow him, amplify his campaign, share his story, offer him words of, you know, solace, and ultimately contribute if you can. Anything else, you guys? Before
even
we
just by being here
away?
contributes. So
yes. Hamza,
thank you,
good?
Hamza.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sorry again if I
this
took
is
a
a
while
new
to translate
volunteer.
Yeah.
He just started, right? Obviously, he was probably very nervous. He did amazing. And
Thank you.
that is how the project works. It is by volunteer, by what we are able to do. And
Yeah.
he did it. And it was so needed. Like so needed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're recruiting more translators. There's a link on the Operation Olive Branch link tree to apply to be a translator like Hamza.
Yeah, so if there's any kind of skill that you think could be of use, we would love your help. If not, just making content for the families is amazing. Sharing, reposting, contributing, you know, those things are what really going to make a difference in the families' lives.
I do data entry. So if you guys know anybody who doesn't like being on camera but likes spreadsheets,
There's always
me,
things behind the scene. There's always things behind the scene. Yep. Cool. Thank you. And thank you, Cleo, for all of your amazing work, you know, just with the families. Hamza, you being here translating, this is incredibly useful and helpful. You have no idea. Everyone in the audience who is watching now, again, the support. Ugh, I love it.
Hi, Farron.
Those who will watch later, please, you guys, your call to action is to please like and share this stream and go to Rami. It's in the description. Follow, like, share, and if you contribute. I'm just going to keep repeating it until we get it. Love you guys. Have a great one.
Work.
Thank you all
Bye,
very
Rami.
much. Thank you.
And
Bye,
if you guys
we love
just
you,
hold
Rami.
on 1 second. Oh, she's